Hello, everyone. Benny, you need some treats here before I get talking. I'm gonna restock these two wonderful kiddos over here and welcome everyone to our live post today here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Today, fortunately, a little tougher day than normal as we're celebrating our third loss in a short span of time. We had to say goodbye to domestic cat Oreoh, one of our special office pals. That it's been wonderful to see how many volunteers who come to support us on site, them sharing photos of Oreoh in the comments, and it's been a special day so far, and looking forward to hanging out with some of Oreoh's former companions, Mr. Benny and Miss Emorhy. We'll talk about Oreoh and talk about all types of fond memories that we were able to share with that very special cat. So hey, Christine, Jeannie Curry, Kathy Barton's here. Hey, Sarah Bloomberg, thank you for those condolences. I'm to give some context too, I'm here in the Animal Care Center catio. So right through that door, we would go right into the lobby of the Animal Care Center. That's where you see Tammy doing her Wildcat wrap-ups. But we're right here, kind of in the front part of the sanctuary. This is where our volunteers come in. This is where our staff members enter in every day. And, well, what else did we get when we entered in every day? Emorhy, we got greetings. Greetings from our feline companions here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. And Oreoh was one of the chief greeters here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Yeah, she's in there, Benny. I don't know if you can make that jump while she's in there. Mr. Oreoh was one of our chief greeters here at TWS, and Oreoh is kind of joining in on the legacy of the naming convention of what started with Homer. Oh yeah, there are treats up there. Let me help you up here. Yeah, you made it. This naming convention that we wanted to kind of keep in cycle here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. It started with Domestic Rescue Homer, and then of course Remo, which is Homer. What's the proper word that I'm looking for? Is that not alliteration, not a palindrome, but when you rearrange the words to create, or rearrange the letters to create a new word? And so with Homer, we were able to create Remo. And Tammy got a little creative, Benny, with Oreoh. We added an H to the end of that Oreoh, and we gave him a Mister as well. And I think with that white mustache that he had, Emorhy, and you have half a mustache, half a little milk mustache. With that white mustache, I always thought that the Mister just fit him so perfectly. Very dapper with that white little mustache. And adding Mister, I think that just elevated the sophistication. An anagram. Thank you, Sarah Bloomberg. Hey, Maria Vaughn, thanks for joining us today. Carrie Miller, gosh, Judson, so sorry to hit the heart with you folks. Sorry to lose lovely Oreoh. And I'm good at getting emotional, Miss Emorhy, because these are hard. They're hard. But we have days like this where we get to celebrate Oreoh, and truthfully, every day we celebrate all of our rescues here, and there's just no denying that these losses are hard, and that we learn from Oreoh and we soldier on in Oreoh's name, and we get to spend time with cats like Emorhy and Benny to help heal and just make things just that much better. Let's see if I can read some comments without getting too torn apart here. Let's see, Miss Emorhy, what do you think? Kathy B, thank you for that comment. Just sharing your condolences with Oreoh, or about Oreoh. And oh, Marcy, thank you. I always try to, not in a bad way, but I always try to avoid the live posts on hard days like this, Mr. Benny. But it's part of my job here, part of my responsibility, and it's a privilege to be able to feel the way that we feel about our rescues and the way that you all feel about our rescues. The wind got your bed here, Miss Emorhy. And that's very much what this is about. It's a privilege to be able to help these cats. And Oreoh, he's a domestic cat, but he was special in his own right. You know, leave it to Tammy for us to be able to take in some of those hard to adopt domestic rescues. Oreoh is being kept. It's a big jump, Mr. Benny. Let me help you out here, Anson. Oh, you're going to the source. Hold on now, hold on. We'll put some in this bed over here. I'm gonna make you do a U-turn, handsome. But Benny, or rather Oreoh, was one of those cats that potentially was going to be hard to adopt, and also Oreoh wasn't a young cat as well, and he was being kept on a bite hold. And one thing that Tammy's going to do is, if she sees that we can make a difference for a cat, wild or domestic, she's going to step up and do so. And Oreoh, though he could be a little mouthy with us, he really liked sometimes communicating with his teeth. He was a special guy, and we know that Oreoh might not have had a life like he had here at Sanctuary if it wasn't for us and if it wasn't for you, which is why we have days like this, because we're thankful for what we were able to give Oreoh. We're thankful for the life that he had here under your care and your support. And we get to relish those memories, Mr. Benny, for the rest of our days. And darn it, Benny, I was trying to, I mentioned earlier, by now you've probably seen, we have 2 posts on Oreoh. Now, the first one is Tammy's memorial, kind of sharing the full memorial on Mr. Oreoh. Benny, you can't keep going back to the source. And then the next post was kind of just talking about Oreoh as one of our mainstay office cats, and how surely he's a familiar cat face to so many of you who join us on site as volunteers, or maybe some of our former interns. And seeing a lot of those old Oreoh photos, or just Oreoh photos from a different perspective, are very special. And admittedly, Mr. Benny, I'm going to have to move you from this area because you're going to keep going back. Admittedly, I was trying to upload a fun photo of Oreoh meeting Shy Bear. They're both covered in catnip. We're kind of wanting to get them a little aloof before they met each other. We know that Shy Bear was particular about who she let into her tight-knit circle. But I saw that. There was another just fun little clip that I wanted to share, and I'll maybe try again to upload them after this. But very simply, it was Oreoh kind of staking his claim on my desk. Oreoh was joined us over in the Welcome Center, humble beginnings over in the Welcome Center. We had all of our offices over there. Tammy, Lynette, our operations director, we were all over there, and that's where Mr. Oreoh first started his TWS legacy. Oh, there's yeah, I saw the butterfly too. Was in the Welcome Center, so looking at a lot of those old photos of Mr. Oreoh in the Welcome Center were fun. And then, if some of you recall, Oreoh went on to live with Cinders, and that's where kind of Oreoh and Cinders' relationship kicked up, right across the way in the bunkhouse, as a matter of fact. They were living with one of our seasonal caretakers, and Oreoh and Cinders, well, they were like peaches and cream. Cinders, who you know, we know Cinders to be an adorable goofball. Cinders was known to steal Doritos out of the bag. Cinders was known truly to just kind of march to a beat of her own drum. She was introverted and extroverted at the same time, if that makes sense. Anyways, Oreoh, who's a little bit more subdued, he's a little bit more casual. I always liked the pairing of those two. So kind of sifting through and running into some Oreoh and Cinders photos. I love that, Mr. Benny. And then, of course, Benny, I'd have to say you're his longest time friend. You and Oreoh. I was looking at cuddle photos of you and Oreoh on the windowsill in the Welcome Center. So lots of good times had. Yeah. Well, yeah. I keep on. There's a few more treats, Benny. I might get a earful from the caretakers if I give you too many. And just make sure you're not going to jump too high, Benny. I'm going to bring you down here with me, and we'll see what Emorhy's up to. I can catch up on some comments, and thank everyone for joining us today on a kind of an unfortunately somber day here. We are celebrating the life of one of our former rescued residents, Mr. Oreoh, who passed away recently. And talking about some fond memories with Mr. Oreoh, hanging out with Benny and Emorhy, two of Oreoh's former companions. And just remembering that special guy and thanking you all for the support that you offer cats like Oreoh. And also, too, importantly, the emotional support that you offer us on days like today. That's a pretty sweet spot, Emorhy. Kind of has the one, it's kind of like the studio apartment in a way. Kind of has the fake wall blocking the bedroom, and Emorhy could go over to her living room right on the other side here. It's a nice little catio accessory to have. Lori Heath saying, I know Benny is on quality of life watch, but it looks like he is doing pretty well today. He is, Lori, and you know, that's one of the things. Benny is one of our geriatric residents, and he's a cat who we've been keeping a very close eye on. Benny, we've seen him kind of lose some muscle mass in his back legs. Obviously, as he gets older, he's maybe not as active as he once was. But Benny, you're right. We keep a very close eye on him, and you're right. I think that you are looking extra limber today, and I'm glad to see you getting some fresh air here. But that's also kind of the reality of the situation, Miss Emorhy, is that I think when we say, you know, the phrase quality of life watch, it understandably so, it sounds scary. But that doesn't mean that things are terminal. That doesn't mean that things are, you know, that it could change right then and there. It means that we're aware that Benny's transitioning as he grows older. That's where we're going to maybe curtail, if he's on any type of medications, we're going to curtail his diet. So that's also to be included, is when you hear that end of life watch, that also just means that we're noticing that the cat is aging, that the cat is maybe needing some adjustments to the type of care they're receiving, and that's also kind of files under to that quality of life watch. So it's not only to be interpreted as some type of ticking time bomb or anything like that. Yeah, look at you, Mr. Handsome. Fine, I'll give you one more treat. Daria D asking, does Benny still drink out of running faucets, or has he gotten over that habit? Daria, the answer to that is no. Benny has not gotten over that habit. Bengals very much so have an affinity for water. And Benny, when he hears any sink going, whether it's in the kitchen, whether it's in one of the bathrooms, Benny makes a point of sauntering on over and dipping his head under. What's pretty cute about it, Daria, and I'm sure maybe you've even seen it, he doesn't always stick his mouth up to the stream. He will stick his head under the stream and let the water kind of cascade down his head into his mouth and the sides of his mouth. It's a pretty interesting technique. Catch up on some few more comments. Yeah, Andrea, this is a really kind of valid comment here. One of the hard things about increased numbers of residents at TWS, statistically, it means that there will be more losses. So hard. But also, and I love how you ended with this, but also statistically, more love to give. I love that, Andrea. And that's true. That's the absolute truth of knowing not only how many rescues we have, but also looking at what percentage of those cats are senior or geriatric. It's a large percentage. And something that we know that's part of why you support us, is that maybe some of the rescues that get to come to the Wildcat Sanctuary, maybe they are in some of the final stages of their life after rescue. But here at Sanctuary, no matter how long they're here, we are going to give them the best last chapter of their life. That's something we've been proud to do for more than a handful of cats that might not have been here for that long. Of course, Lioness Sultania, we're thinking about Lucy, who will be joining us. And these are cats that we know have not had what they deserve for pretty much a majority of their life, almost their entire life. But if we're here to maybe give them that silver lining that they've always deserved, it's a wonderful thing. Marcy, you're right about that. commenting about how I'm a perpetual treat dispenser. I think you're right about that. Especially Emorhy, because I think I've heard that you and Dahlia are being put on a little bit of a weight loss plan. Of course, Mr. Benny, as we're talking about him and his age, we're just wanting to encourage him to eat as much as he wants. And the girls here in the Welcome, or not the Welcome Center, rather the Animal Care Center, Dahlia and Miss Emorhy here, well, they kind of ride Benny's coattails and jump in and enjoy his food as well. But Emorhy's just kind of watching the motion of the ocean. I see one of the Animal Care, or rather AmeriCorps members driving their UTV. I'm just kind of flipping through a few more comments, so I appreciate everyone's patience. Benny does have beautiful eyes. That is exactly right, Liz Green. Cheryl Adams, this brightens my day to watch all of the cats. I agree, Cheryl. Stuff like this does a lot of good for our collective TWS family, doesn't it? Especially on hard days like this. All right, Mr. Handsome. Don't worry, I'll give you a few more treats as I'm flipping through here. And Kendra Ditto, you know, I certainly, I need to kind of gather myself before doing these live posts on some of the hard days, and you know, I think that's kind of what's unique about some of the different jobs here at the Wildcat Sanctuary is that, you know, I often kind of find that sometimes my morning happens on days like today, when I'm kind of sifting through the photos and doing the writing and you know, whereas maybe the caretakers, they maybe come to closure at different stages, and you know, usually it's always kind of on the Memorial Day that that I kind of reach my you know, kind of the culmination of my mourning process. Oh, Mr. Benny. Alrighty. Let me get you a few more treats, Hanson, before you doze off. A few more treats for a handsome fella. And you heard Tammy mention yesterday, here I have my little container here, that Dahlia has not ventured out to the catio without some extreme encouragement. Us kind of opening the door, putting treats out here. I really am hoping to see her joining her fellow ACC companions out here, because it really is a marvelous spot, and I know that Emorhy and Benny love surveying their outside domain just as much as their inside domain. Do you want me to put it in here? I'll put it right there for you. Well, he says, well, I've already had about 100 of these, so I don't know if I do care. All right, Mr. Ben. Let me just catch up on a few comments. Thanks, everyone, for being so sweet, too. Kathy, thanks for joining us today. Jenny, as we're kind of talking about how voracious of eaters some of the ACC cats can be. Jenny was one of our dedicated volunteers. The girls might be helping themselves to too much of your lunch when you're there. You know, Jenny, I see, you know, I kind of see what looks like the vultures circling Emorhy, Dahlia, Benny, everybody wanting to come and see what you have for lunch. Well, everyone, I appreciate your patience with me, and I appreciate everyone turning out today to celebrate Mr. Oreoh, and you know, it's a new week. Next week, Mr. Benny and Miss Emorhy, and and we thank you all for tuning in on days like this and supporting us, you know, when times are tough and we're all hurting emotionally after 1, 2, 3 losses. But it's a new week next week, and we appreciate you guys enduring with us and moving forward and wanting to do the best for our residents here at Sanctuary, for the ones that have left us. So with that, I want to thank you all for tuning in today, and we will see you back here at the Wildcat Sanctuary on Monday.